Imagine this. You raise your hands in the stillness of the night, whispering your deepest desires to Allah. Your voice trembles with hope. Your heart beats with anticipation. You ask, you plead, you cry. But then, days pass, weeks, months, and nothing seems to change. Doubt creeps in. Is my dua even being heard? But what if I told you that every single dua you've ever made has already been answered, just not in the way you expected? What if the silence you perceive is actually Allah's perfect plan, unfolding in ways your heart cannot yet comprehend? Dua is not just a ritual. It is a conversation, a bridge that connects the servant to his master, a sacred moment where the seen world meets the unseen. And the most beautiful part, Allah promises that He responds. Call upon me, I will respond to you. Quran 46. But here's the secret. Allah's response is not always immediate. It's not always in the way we imagine. Sometimes, what we think is rejection is actually redirection. Sometimes, what seems like silence is actually preparation for something far greater. And sometimes, the answer is hidden in a test, a delay, or even a hardship that will shape us into the person Allah knows we are meant to become. The lives of the prophets are filled with moments where dua was answered in the most unexpected ways. The story of Prophet Zachariah, as the story of Musa and his mother, the countless moments where despair turned into divine intervention. These are not just stories from the past. They are proof that Allah listens, He cares, and He responds in ways beyond our imagination. So before you think your dua has gone unheard, take a deep breath. Because what's coming might be greater than what you even asked for. Imagine being in complete darkness. Not just one layer of darkness, but three. The darkness of the night, the darkness of the ocean, and the darkness inside the belly of a massive whale. This was the reality of Prophet Yunus, as he had made a mistake. He had left his people too soon, frustrated by the rejection of his message. But Allah's plan was different. As he sailed away, a storm hit, and he was thrown overboard, swallowed whole by a whale. Alone, helpless, trapped, no way out. From a human perspective, it was over. No one had ever escaped such a situation. But Yunus, knew something that many of us forget. No situation is beyond Allah's power. No matter how deep the darkness, no matter how impossible the escape, Allah hears. And so, in the belly of the whale, with no one to witness, he made a dua. A dua so powerful, so sincere, that it shook the heavens. La ilaha illa anta, subhanaka, inni kuntu minaz zalimin. There is no God but you, glory be to you. Indeed, I have been among the wrongdoers. Quran 21:87, and with those words, Allah commanded the whale to release him. The ocean carried him safely to shore. Which story, which seemed to be ending in tragedy, became a lesson of hope for all time. What does this teach us? Sometimes we feel trapped in our sins, trapped in our circumstances, trapped in regret. We feel like we've messed up so badly that there's no way out. But Allah's mercy is always greater than our mistakes. If Prophet Yunus could call upon Allah from the depths of the ocean and be saved, then what about you? No matter how lost you feel, one sincere dua can change your life. No matter how dark your situation seems, Allah can bring you back to the light. All you have to do is call upon Him. Because Allah never abandons those who turn to Him. That Prophet Zachariah was an old man, frail with age, his hair turning white, his bones weak. Yet he had one unfulfilled desire, a child. The years passed, and logically, it seemed impossible. His wife was barren, and he himself was well beyond the age of fatherhood. But despite the odds, he never stopped making dua. He didn't let logic dictate his faith. He let his trust in Allah do that. One night, standing alone in the stillness of his prayer, he whispered his deepest longing. My Lord, grant me from yourself a pure offspring. Indeed, you are the hearer of supplication. Quran 3:38. And what happened next? Allah didn't just answer his dua. He granted him Yahya, a son of immense wisdom and righteousness, a child unlike any other. A child born from a barren mother and an aged father. A miracle. This story teaches us something profound. Allah's timeline is different from ours. What seems impossible for us is effortless for Him. When we think our duas are not being answered, it is not because Allah has forgotten us. It is because He is preparing something greater, something far beyond our expectations. Sometimes the delay is a mercy, a test of faith, and a lesson in patience. So the next time you feel like giving up on your dua, remember Zachariah. Remember that Allah's timing is always perfect. When He delays, He's not denying, He's preparing. This was the reality of Maryam, the mother of Prophet Isa, She was a young woman devoted to worship, isolated in her prayer chamber. She had no husband, no means of income, and no one to provide for her. Yet every time Prophet Zakaria entered her room, he found fresh food, sustenance that no one had brought. Shocked, he asked, "Oh Maryam, from where is this coming to you?" And she replied with complete conviction, "It is from Allah. Indeed, Allah provides for whom He wills without measure." Quran 337, this moment was so powerful that it inspired Prophet Zakaria to make his own dua. He had longed for a child for years, but he was old, and his wife was barren. Yet, seeing Maryam receive risk from the unseen, he realized something. Allah is not limited by human logic than that. What seems impossible to us is effortless for Him. So Zakaria raised his hands and made dua, and Allah granted him Yahya, a child born in old age, when no one believed it was possible. What does this teach us? There are times in life when we feel like we are struggling alone. No support, no resources, no clear way forward. But sustenance does not come from people. It comes from Allah. If He can bring fruit to Maryam, out of season, He can bring you what you need, even when it seems impossible. Maybe you're making dua for something that looks out of reach, a job you desperately need, a financial breakthrough, a child after years of waiting. Remember this, Allah is our Razak, the provider. If He can bring sustenance to Maryam in complete isolation, He can bring you exactly what you need from places you never expected. Your only job? Keep making dua, because Allah's treasures are limitless. Imagine being swallowed by complete darkness, not just physical darkness, but emotional and spiritual darkness. You feel trapped, hopeless, and unable to see any way out. This was the state of Prophet Yunus he had left his people in frustration, believing they would never believe in Allah. But soon, he found himself in a situation far worse than he could have imagined. Swallowed by a massive whale, trapped in the depths of the ocean, layer upon layer of darkness surrounded him. Darkness of the ocean, darkness of the night, darkness inside the belly of the whale. No human could hear him, no way to escape, no hope except one, dua. At that moment, Yunus turned back to Allah with one of the most powerful duas ever recorded in the Quran. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu mina zalimin. There is no God but you. Glory be to you, indeed I was among the wrongdoers. Quran 21:87. He didn't ask directly to be saved. He admitted his mistake. He glorified Allah. He surrendered completely. And what happened? Allah commanded the whale to release him. He was cast onto the shore, weak and exhausted, but alive. His dua broke through the layers of darkness, and Allah responded in a way no one would have imagined. What does this teach us? Maybe you feel trapped in your own kind of darkness, drowning in debt, stuck in sin, heartbroken by loss, overwhelmed by regret, and you wonder, is there even a way out for me? The story of Yunus is a divine reminder. No matter how deep your darkness, your dua can still reach Allah. No matter how far you strayed, Allah is still listening. So if you ever feel lost, if you ever feel like there is no escape, turn to Allah with the dua of Yunus, because just as Allah rescued him from the depths of the ocean, He can rescue you from whatever is weighing you down sometimes. We make dua with desperation, expecting an immediate response. The answer, according to the teachings of Islam, is a resounding yes. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Nothing changes the divine decree except dua." You need this hadith